Okay, so here we are on week 4, the third lesson. Sorry. And this one is about sharing your experience and insights with a group and offering support and encouragement to others that are working to break their own habits. So, in other words, this one is going to be really exploring this idea about moving beyond yourself. And it's kind of like once you know you want to teach, once it's part of you, you can help others. And that selflessness is really going to drive in this habit, this new habit or broken habit away. And sorry, I got a mustache hair in my mouth. But it's really a really powerful thing to solidify the broken habit. And being able to teach also makes you realize that you really know it. And it's just a really powerful way to go through things. So I want to tell you about how I go through and share things. So sharing your experience with and insights with a group is obviously the main goal here. And one of the first ways you want to do is offer support and encourage people. So if somebody posts in a group, you'd be like, "Yeah, man, that's awesome." And then anytime I like to actually suggest supporting the people that are doing the worst, definitely give positive reinforcement, but they're going to get a lot of that. Most people have positive reinforcement instead of being support to the person who needs the support most. Positive reinforcement is going to come from a lot of people that aren't in the group anyway. So I suggest, I try to help the people who are struggling the most. I feel like it's more helpful in the end. So, yeah, encouraging each other is really important. Teaching, share the strategies and techniques that have been most effective for you and how you've been able to maintain your progress. Teaching is one of those things that you can only kind of really do if you fully know the subject, if you've experienced. You can get by and teach certain things, but teaching in itself really, yeah, it solidifies it in your brain. So you're really learning while you're teaching, like how, and you find like holes in your theory, and maybe you're not sure of this or that, and you're like, okay, well, that's fine. Moving on, you can get a little bit better. But not only that, teaching really helps people. Like everything that you've been taught or you've learned from somewhere, um, you've taught yourself if you're self-taught on things. You learn somehow, and if you can shortcut somebody else to learn something, it's really helpful to them. And then providing guidance on how to stay motivated for everybody. Like maybe you found something new, like the trick, like my cinnamon sticks thing. I just chew on those or whatever, and it really helped me. So telling somebody else about that, I'm not teaching them about it. I'm just telling them, hey, this is what's worked for me. Maybe it like motivates somebody to try a new tool when they can't find a good one. And then maybe how did you get over certain triggers or some sort, and what could you have done better? Like just generally seeking guidance for them. And then of course, yeah, encourage others when they win, right? If somebody like completely has a big win, like, I don't know, make a big deal out of it. If it's a truly big thing, I think, like attracts like, right? And if you're not lifting each other up, then you're pulling each other down. So, uh, I think that's a really important thing. And then even with that is offering accountability. So if you're in a group, like let's say my group is working for you, offer to be an accountability buddy to somebody. And, you don't need just a leader of any group, whether it's mine or somebody else's, to always be there. Finding a buddy that's like vibes with you and be like, yeah, how you doing or whatever, right? And constantly kind of pushing each other. You'd be surprised. And I recommend actually keeping this group of small, like intermediate accountability buddies, like community smaller because it's easier to manage. When it becomes something to manage, it gets really difficult. So having a one-on-one or only one or two people, I think, in a circle, if you're doing a mini mastermind. And then also help others develop a plan, start teaching yourself. Or you could do a course. You could probably do a course, if you wanted to do one better than this, and maybe you could sell it. The goal is to help people. For me, I really wanted to help people with this. I've learned a lot. I've broken a lot of bad habits. And I felt like it would be a really important gift to give everybody and just generally help them. I have plans on helping people in other ways, through mentorship and one-on-one coaching. And I think that, my plan was to give people a roadmap. And if they need help with their vehicle to do it, then that's what I'm here for. So but you should also help people in general. So, and then of course, tell them why. Why? Remember in the first ones, it was like, why do you want to quit? What are the benefits that you're going to do? And then what are the ones that actually turned out to be true? And which ones did you unexpectedly find, like because of quitting the bad habits? Or which ones were just not worth it? Maybe you didn't care, you know? And the positive changes you've known in your life since breaking the bad habit. So that is the lesson. Last thing I want to say is if for any reason you didn't break the bad habit in 28 days, I've said it in a couple videos before, it's not a big deal. Now I've taught you the things that I've learned in breaking a bad habit. And you can now repeat, maybe you can skim through it. The lessons have been dripped. You can go through and be like, all right, here's my thing. Work at it at your own pace. Now you know the knowledge. So maybe your first week is going to be better than last month's, right? So that's fine. Just look at it as going, okay, now I'm educated. I'm going to do it better again. Remember, the first time you ever do something is the worst time you're going to do it. So just do it again. Get back on the horse and just keep cruising. And then